Hello friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile 3, Ruined World. I'm back in Fort Emergence now, ready to present the latest evidence we have found as to who created the plagues of monsters. But first, someone in the comments asked if I could show a little bit more of the woodsy tower. So, for one thing, the tower cannot be entered from the south. We have to come in from the north. And in fact, I may need to reset my emulator because I'm not getting any of my footstep sounds. Basically, I wanted to see a magic map of this place so we can see this one final corner filled in. And I noticed a couple of other chests over here too. Interesting. Also, turns out all of the fountains have different effects. You feel some of your health being restored by every sip. Nice, nice. Tastes cool and refreshing at first, then your skin develops massive boils and your whole body starts to ache. Ew. Not dealing with that. However, as far as you can tell, that's all it is. Cool, refreshing water. Still loads better than diseasing everyone in my party. And that was the spell point water. That one drains something from me, probably experience. You drink the water, it's flat and tasteless, and you start to feel it didn't have an effect. Then you start to feel smarter. You now know the spell Revive All. Except I already knew that one, but still pretty cool. Also, Smite is not going to do me any good here. Now then, I don't have a particularly easy way to get to the next secret bits, so I'm just going to speed through this part. Lousy stinking eye beasts. Okay, so dispel a barrier here. Hello, friendly mage, who is far too traumatized by your experiences to talk. And turns out there's a few more hidden chests in the corners. You've got a wand. Joy. And most of my major blessing has worn off. Oh no, whatever shall I do? Cast another one, of course. So it's sort of fun to see that even with Magic Map, there is absolutely nothing within these pillar squares in the middle of the dungeon. So what is hiding in this corner here? A guardian. Not so bad. Is that all? Yeah, apparently that's all. And this sign makes a little bit more sense on this side of it, that the bigger treasure chest with more stuff in it is denied us. But, of course, now I have to go and see what's in the other chests. This one isn't actually trapped, and has some javelins or something. These fights are much easier when I know when they're coming and I cast Major Blessing beforehand. And also there is another way to deal with the quickfire aside from just running. Trapped by barrier. Nya nya. Now I can explore these tunnels at my leisure. And one final secret chest. Not actually a chest, it's a basilisk. Good night. I'm amused at how the demons always leave a patch of ashes when they die. And that, as they say, is that. I am definitely not going to deal with the Hakai right now. So, back to our other, more advanced save file. And say, hey Bara, we found some new evidence. You give Bara the crystal shards from the caves below the giant fortress. He moves off to test them, then returns. Well, it's not conclusive, but the Vanatai are true masters of magic using crystals. This may have been made by them. Dun dun dun! Now, time to go talk to an Axamander. Because we have a few things he might be interested in. You tell an Axamander of the war that just broke out between the Troglodytes and the Hill Giants, and your role in it. Well done, he exults. With them gone, we should have a much better chance of settling on the surface. Of course, to do that we need to know both that we are safe from other monsters and from the Empire. So keep exploring. I feel much remains to be done. When you describe the golems to him, an Axamander seems to age before your eyes. This is far worse than anything that came before. It seems the closer the enemies are to the Empire's center, the more deadly they are. I cannot imagine what could be powerful enough to create an army of golems, but they must be identified and stopped. You have done well. You should go to the Portal Fortress, and from there to the Tower of Magi to receive a reward. Once down there, see X and Solberg, and one of them will give you magical training. Yay, new spells! You tell an Axamander of the crystal shards you recovered from below the Hill Giant and Troglodyte layers. Crystals, eh? The Vanatai use crystals in their magic, and they certainly have no love for the Empire. They have been very secretive since the end of the Empire War. Why don't you go visit Gikra and see what they have to say about these shards? Will do. Oh right, I dropped a wand of fireballs there because it only had one use, and honestly, wands are never as effective as just casting the spells. Except for the Charming Wand, that tends to be surprisingly effective. Also, what am I doing? This is the surface. I want to go back into Upper Exile. First, up north to Gikra, to speak with the Vanatai. And also to maybe buy a few Vanatai weapons while I'm here. Oh, you only have an iron wave blade, not a steel. That's still not bad. I'm not sure how many steel razor discs I really want to buy, because even using some of the best throwing weapons in the game, Peridot is still not doing great with them. Well, some of the best. Lightning rods, honestly, are pretty great when they hit, being flaming weapon. And I've gotten all of the spells and alchemical recipes I can get here. Ha! This looks important. You meet Rentar Irno, Master Archmage of the Vanatai and famed magical warrior in your war against the Empire, and ask her of the crystal you found underneath the giant and troglodyte fortresses. You know, I suppose you can go the entire game up to this point without actually coming into Gikra. She thinks, "This is a concern to me. Of course, we had nothing to do with its creation. We have much to deal with in the underworld as it is. We have neither the energy nor the interest to interfere with the surface as well. However, it is worrisome that someone is using our magical inventions to carry out such deeds. Note this. The only beings besides ourselves to have learned that much of our magic are the Exiles. You may wish to look to your own people." That seems to be all she has to say on the subject. Okay. Well, I suppose I could pay a visit to Erica as well. I don't know if she'll have anything new to say. In fact, I kind of doubt it. It's possible she could have some spells I haven't learned yet. And at this point, price is certainly not an obstacle. And neither is anything else in her tower. That's a nice change of pace. Okay, so she does not have anything to say about the Vanatai, I think. No, she's still obsessed with her rage at the Empire. Okay, it turns out I already have everything that Erica is willing to teach me. I suppose the only other thing I have to do down here is visit the Tower of Magi again. And maybe scare off some goblins. Yeah. Actually, I suppose I could go visit Silverlock's hut and buy some pretty high-end potions. Maybe later. Oh no, this isn't where the bridge is. But who needs a bridge when you have an orb? Okay, back to standard portal protocols. And back to the tower. And just in case we mess up our simulacrum list, there is a nullbug I can grab here. Let's see, do I have anything unidentified? I don't think I do. Ring of Will should go on Garnet, most likely. So, random item shop. Have anything good? Bronze broadsword, iron plate boots, great helm. Very boring items, except maybe a strong invulnerability potion. I have kind of been collecting those. But they may yet come in handy one day. So says the RPG gaming hoarder. Actually, what I should be doing is finding Solberg. Okay, Solberg rewards me for the alien slime and the cockroaches, but I think I need to go to X to get the next tier of spells. Unidentified tome holding chamber. Actually, I can access this now. I don't know if I've actually been to the tower since getting Dispel Barrier. So, unidentified magical tome. Have I actually seen this before? This feels familiar. At the end of this well-defended passage, someone has placed a small, soot-covered book on a pedestal. The pedestal has something carved on the front, the rune for unknown. Something about it being soot-covered feels kinda suspicious. You crack open the book and begin to read. It's the journal of a mage named Orvid's dealings with dark powers. It's horrid, disturbing stuff, but you find yourself unable to stop reading. You learn the spell Major Summoning, but feel unhinged. Okay. And here's X. There we go. You have done well. You have earned more magic. Listen carefully. He tells you, in a terse way, how to cast Demon, which I don't know if I will ever use, and Mind Duel, which could perhaps be handy when I'm running low on spell points and facing magic-using enemies. How convenient that we got a Ring of Will recently. And last but not least, visiting the temple. Make a donation. And reap the benefits. Hehehe. Honestly, at this point I probably should be investing a little more into my mage's intelligence instead of just relying on the free increase from the temple here. Oh no, I've let the priest out. Where did you go? I want to learn more spells. Hyperactivity instantly wakes up any sleeping characters, what few there might be because I have so many helms of alertness. Also provides total resistance to magical sleep for a short time. Finally, it speeds back up any slowed character. Ooh, that's cool. I don't think I've actually been stoned yet. I highly doubt I'm going to start summoning invisible allies. Mass Charm could be fun to play with. Protective Circle would honestly be more annoying than not, with the way it summons various layers of magical fields around me. Pestilence is super annoying when I get it cast on me, but I find disease effects a lot slower than just whacking things with swords. The passage is blocked by an invisible, impenetrable wall. A voice says, Linda has requested that this passage be off-limits to unauthorized personnel. Thank you for your consideration. Linda, what are you up to? And this is not actually how I get back to the portal. And you are an apprentice, and therefore not allowed to speak to me. Well, that was a pretty good trip. So, can I take the shortcut back to Fort Emergence? Only works on the surface. Fair enough. That style of teleporting might bonk our heads on the cave ceiling for all I know. So we now have 3 suspects for who's been causing mischief on the surface. Erica, the dragons, and the Vanatai. They all have good reasons to hate the Empire. But they all have some logical drawbacks to this whole thing. The Vanatai seem like they have a very hard time operating on the surface. If the 2 Vanatai in that one ancient tomb we found are any indication. The dragons certainly have some power, but the filth factory in particular seems like it's more scaled for humanoids. I would have a hard time seeing dragons moving about in there, and I also have a hard time seeing them using human servants. Similarly, Erica is definitely human-sized. But she doesn't really play well with others. And the filth factory in particular seemed like it had some barracks for more than just one person to be working on it. Quite a conundrum, isn't it? Perhaps in the next monster plague we'll find evidence of someone else stealing some expertise from one or more of those 3 parties. And I've gone back to Krizan because I don't remember if I've actually done a thing here yet. He's not here. Phooey. Also, I don't have to use... well, I could leave through the giant gaping hole in the wall, but I'd have to knock down a barrier first. Okay, old wizard guy moves between Krizan and one of the towns here. Oh, come on. He's got to be in one or the other. There we go. I don't remember if I've actually bought the artifact location off of him yet. That's dedication. Yes, I would like to purchase the location. He gladly accepts your dedication. The Ring of Endless Magery is in the Tower of Zakal. That legendary tower, I have found, is at the southern end of the island, south of the city of Gale. Well, that sounds like quite a good artifact to have. And we need to go up towards Gale anyway. So it's one more trip through the teleporter. Now, I can teleport directly to Gale, but I would actually rather go to Lorelei and retrieve the horses. And maybe see if there's any... Wait, no. Retrieve the horses, I said. There we go. And see if there's any exploration bits that I have missed. Okay, there's one little empty square of map in here. I think maybe I've tried to get in there before and failed. That's quite a stark contrast between the edge of the forest and the grassland. Okay, I thought maybe I had a little more unexplored territory around here. Maybe not. Black Crag Fortress to the north. That is another place that we need to go. There is some unexplored territory over here, and possibly in the middle of the water there. Before they send us to a grave, alien beasts use Burma shave. Ba-dum-tsh. Cute. You see some flashes of light at the base of the wall nearby, and move to investigate. There, you find a chilling sight. Something has burrowed its way through the wall, and is trying to force its way out on this side. The magic of the wall is trying to hold whatever it is in, bombarding the area with bolts of energy. However, it may soon force its way through. Do you wait here? You draw your weapons and wait. Soon, with a final push, the creatures break through the magical defenses. They're six-legged beasts, 5 feet tall at the shoulder. With joyous howls, they attack you immediately. Ooh, alien beasts and pack leaders. I don't think we've seen pack leaders before. me see. Okay, the slightly smaller ones are your alien beasts, and the pack leaders are somewhat larger. That's some pretty solid armor, and... Ooh, those attacks can do a lot of damage. Yeah, the Beast Slayer Blade does quite a lot of extra damage. You know what also does a lot of damage? Flame Strike. My, you guys have a lot of health. Seriously. Yeah. Okay, getting bit is bad news. Okay, even after cursing them and major blessing me, those guys are pretty tough. No wonder the Empire is terrified of them. Gate to Footracer Province. Unauthorized access prohibited. The enormous wall surrounding the ruins of Footracer Province has a gate here. It's an enormous piece of work. A huge lattice of dark, wrought iron 30 feet tall. The bars are edged with razors and tipped with spikes. The gates are closed, and undoubtedly locked as well. You try to get close to them to see if there might be a way in. When you do, they suddenly are covered in flames. A deep voice booms out, so loud it makes your ribs vibrate. Footracer Province is closed off by orders of the Empress Prezak. Only those with orders from the Empress herself may pass. All others trying to pass will be greeted with the most deadly force. Depart immediately. The flames die down, and the voice falls silent. There is clearly little else you can do here. You turn back. Tired from your exertions, you almost don't realize the plants you're marching through, and on, are comfrey. The roots are quite valuable in alchemy. If you say so. Yeah, there really isn't much this far north. You are in a massive expanse of plains. The roots of the thick, lush grasses are too thick for Empire plows to cut, so these lands have escaped domestication so far. With the monster plagues, they are mostly empty now, of settlers or travelers. To the north, you see an enormous mountain range, the largest in the Empire, which separates Valorim from the rest of the world. Due north, you can see a huge pass, and can just make out the fort blocking it. Black Crag Fortress. Entry is not allowed. Valorim is under quarantine by orders of Empress Prazak. Ahead of you to the north, you see a massive fortress. It's a huge slab of black stone, its sharp parapets watched by a multitude of Empire soldiers. This is Black Crag Fortress, the sentinel watching the pass between Valorim and the rest of the Empire. Unfortunately, Valorim is under quarantine. This castle is here not to keep the people of Valorim safe, but to keep them in. The guards watch as you approach, ready to kill you if you overstep your bounds. Hey there, how's it going? Black Crag Fortress. None are admitted. Valorim is under quarantine by orders of Empress Prazak. Nerves on edge, unsure what to expect, you walk into the massive maw of Black Crag Fortress. The passage is enormous, magically assembled by enormous blocks of polished black stone. As you walk in, you suddenly hear a booming voice. It must be one of the guards' voices, magically augmented. He says, "Attention visitors! As you must be aware, Valorim has been declared under quarantine by the infinitely powerful and wise Empress Prazak, until such time as a way of dealing with the monster plague has been devised. Until such a time, this fortress is off limits to you. Depart immediately, or suffer the most grievous punishments." The portculli at the end of the passage are closed, and look like they'll remain so. It looks like this way in isn't going to work out for you. Yaha. And yeah, there are no secret passages, don't bother asking. The guards will not respond to me. Will we be able to enter Black Crag Fortress? Find out another time. Lots of rubble here. Ooh. Dragoth ruins, eh? You enter the village of Dragoth, once a major way station for merchants and travelers in and out of Valorim, now a ruin. Monsters cut through this place like a scythe, leaving little but rubble. And a bunch of comfrey root, apparently. Well, there's a bunch of convenient stealthy holes in the wall. I wonder what sort of monsters we shall find here. Turns out it's alien beasts. This house is filled with the stink of death. The floor is covered with filth and a network of deep claw marks. A den of alien beasts has been living here for some time. Well, we gotta fix that now, don't we? Ow. I love it. I do 3 or 4 main damage with my weapons, and then plus 30 from the Beast Slayer blade. Right, Steven, get in here with your flaming sword. Not as impressive for extra damage, but every little bit. I actually managed to kill something with thrown weapons. Yay! All of the books that were here have been partially or wholly devoured by the alien beasts. You find nothing useful. Oh, hi. Bleh. Couple of scrolls here. Oh, just garden variety giant spiders. Kind of annoying to get webbed by a spider, but they're pretty weak sauce compared to me by now. Tiny bit of gold. I guess the alien beasts have no need for spare change. Or iron bars. Or hammers. Garbage and stone mace. And a corner that appears to be blocked off. That's honestly considerably less bad than I was expecting. Some gold and some mystery potions. So I wonder why this got blocked off. Was it someone's vain attempt to contain alien beasts that had gotten in? Was it some secret government building? Who knows? Must check every suspicious dead end in the mountains. Third Empire Army temporary station. This valley is filled with Empire troops. A whole army of them. Their cooking fires are stretched out for miles ahead of you. They seem pretty heavily entrenched here. They clearly don't plan to move anytime in the near future. You see a group of soldiers moving towards you very quickly, their weapons drawn. Do you attack? Yeah, I don't feel like going up against an entire Empire army right now. The soldiers move up to you, but though their weapons are still out, they don't attack. One of them, a dervish, says, "I am Dervish Caladan, of the Empire Third Army. Since Valorim came under quarantine, our army has been stranded here. Here we will wait until the Empire either lets us back in or gives us some sort of orders. Until that time, we will look after ourselves. One of the things this means is that intruders and trespassers who enter our area will be, shall we say, very unsafe. I hope I am sufficiently clear." That said, the soldiers sheathe their weapons, and they march back to their camp. You certainly aren't wanted here. Okay. You march into the large valley, currently occupied by the stranded Third Empire army. The army is determined to keep interlopers at a safe distance, and your being from Exile doesn't help. A band of guards moves to keep you away. Oh, I see. Bye-bye then. This remote, rubble-strewn valley has a path leading up into it. You would guess that the path has been used a fair amount, and not just by people, but by carts and wagons. You wonder why so many people would march up such a nondescript valley. Guarded tunnel. An alarm sounds, and you hear loud shouts ahead of you. Whoever's in here, they know you're here, and they aren't friendly. Secret tunnel in the mountains next to Black Crag Fortress. I think we might have found a smuggler's tunnel, and also I think I need to go do something else and come back here later. Let's see if I can avoid this Empire patrol here. Looks like I can with the power of horses. Goblins? Up here? My goodness, how are you surviving with the alien beasts and the golems? Bridge to northeast areas, 15 miles east, Black Crag Fortress to the northwest. Yeah, that's a bridge, all right. Oh, darn it. I might want to reload this. Okay, I probably didn't need to reload there, but I'd rather not spend the time fighting pretty strong Empire troops. Especially when those troops could be put to better use going up against the monster plagues, perhaps. Although they're clearly not doing that at the moment. They're just being held in reserve, I guess. Anyway, it is time to explore the northeast corner of Valorim in the next episode. Until then, have a good one, everybody.